It's time to talk about toxic relationships. You may have thought you met the one. Maybe they even saved you from toxicity, just to drag you into an even worse situation. Or maybe nothing is ever okay unless they're happy and you're miserable. Hi everyone, I'm Sarah from Trauma Recovery Coaching. I am a certified coach specializing in abuse recovery from narcissistic, sociopathic, and psychopathic abuse. We hear about domestic violence often, but for those who haven't experienced it, or even many who have, may say that could never happen to me, when it's actually happening to them. Emotional abuse is a silent form of abuse that doesn't leave physical wounds. It's often a he said, she said situation where you are expected to produce mountains of evidence that is almost impossible to capture. So many individuals don't know that what's happening to them isn't normal due to toxic upbringings and years of gaslighting and manipulation, or they do know something is off, but they're in a situation where it's either not safe to question the abuse or they self-gaslight. Society tends to think only physical abuse and SA is abuse. The emotional pain and disturbance is just as harmful as physical pain that can be inflicted on anyone. It's hard to indicate the emotional abuse, and it's hard to prove legally. So let's talk about 6 phrases and patterns toxic abusive partners may use. Number 1, I could have had anyone else other than you. This phrase is very painful. It digs in deep, and I know a lot of us have heard this. It's a tactic to lower your self-esteem and self-worth. This is typically used in the discarding phase of a toxic relationship and can be used whenever the toxic partner feels like it's time to get some supply. It's normally used during your lowest of lows and when you're more likely to give a strong reaction. The partner will be very annoyed if you walk away and avoid confrontation. They want that reaction. It's also used to bring paranoia. It can make you think, are they cheating on me because I'm not what they wanted? Why am I not good enough? Or you revert to the people pleaser who panics and asks, what do you need me to do for you so you will love me? Number 2, they compare you to their ex. A toxic partner may eventually begin to compare you to their ex. Often it is when you are not doing everything the way the partner wants on the partner's time. Say you're washing dishes, but your partner says you're not doing them the way their ex did. They did it better and you're not even good enough to do the dishes. Then they continue to insult you and degrade you on something that's not even a big deal. It certainly doesn't have to be about washing dishes, but that's how ridiculous and minor their degrading can be. Something that is a small, everyday task can be used as a way to lower your self-esteem, make you feel like you're less than, and make you feel like you need to change who you are to meet the needs of the toxic partner. You may feel like you have to compete with an ex who is constantly brought up just to harm you. A toxic person, especially if they're a narcissist or a sociopath, can have very spontaneous outbursts over little things that are not even an issue. This is all about control. The toxic partner wants to get reactions from you, all while making you feel like you're worth nothing, so they will have more control over you. The toxic partner wants you to do everything for them in their specific way. It may not even be about the ex. It can be more of a manipulation tactic to make you become even more of a perfectionist and people pleaser, so you will do everything to please your toxic partner. It's a test of your boundaries and your response. Number 3, where have you been? If you've been in a toxic relationship, you've encountered the overreaction of you coming home a few minutes late from work, school, or the grocery store. You're constantly bombarded and accused of cheating, and now you're labeled as the toxic partner. Toxic partners are very insecure. They know that healthy individuals will not stay with them or put up with the toxic behaviors that they unleash behind closed doors. Toxic partners know that projecting what they're potentially doing to you will make you rethink and have confusion around the relationship. In this situation, we often ask questions like, oh, maybe they just feel like I do. I don't want them to cheat on me. Then you may feel the need to make sure that the toxic partner has their needs and wants met, and self-sacrifice to make sure that those needs are met. Or, why can't I be trusted? I just went to work. My parents treated me like this too. This must be normal, but I don't like it. Number 4, you can't have friends. Isolation in a toxic relationship is important for the abuser. You are shamed, accused of cheating, and accused of being not dedicated and serious about the relationship. A smooth talking manipulator can easily make you feel like the bad guy when it's human to be social with at least a few people. Friends are important, but a toxic partner knows that if you have that supportive friend, that friend will want you out of this toxicity. They need smooth ways to manipulate you, distancing yourself from these relationships with, I'm busy, a lot is going on at work, and other similar excuses until the relationship naturally fades away and the connection is lost. Isolation is an abuser's best friend. Number 5, do you want to go back to your abusers? This phrase is one filled with betrayal. Whether or not this partner helped you escape abuse, they know that this is a wound. They want to use it to their advantage, to devalue you and to discard you, so they can make you a shell of your former self. If you are at your lowest of low, you are easy to manipulate. The fear of potentially thinking that the only place you can go back to is your previous abusers is absolutely terrifying. This brings us to financial abuse. This type of partner typically has control of the bank account. They may even make sure you don't have access to it either. Or if you do, your spending is monitored and you are punished if you even think about taking money out to use it for yourself or things that you need. This type of control is important to the abuser, so they can make sure you never get out of this relationship. Number 6, they use your past wounds as a weapon. A toxic, abusive partner will use any and all past wounds you've shared with them against you. They will try to use these wounds as their way of controlling you. It may not seem like control, but they want you to be reactive. They want to be able to hold that power over you. Your reactions show them that they are in control, and it satisfies them. The toxic partner wants you to be reactive. They will use gaslighting to make you question your own reality and attempt to control your mental state so you can remain their source of supply. Can you relate to what we've talked about today? Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. If you like this type of content, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. We want to spread awareness on this silent form of abuse. Thank you for listening.